Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a journey through Spanish cuisine. Today is our last episode, and today we're just going to be going over the last few things that we weren't able to go over based off of time in the past episodes. So let's start off in the classic dishes. So let's start with morcilla. Morcilla is a type of sausage made from pig's blood, and ground pork. Those are the two necessary ingredients for a sausage to be called morcilla. But other than that, the recipes change dramatically depending on where in the country you're eating. One classic version is flavored with onion and spices and uses rice as a filler. Other versions skip the fillers entirely or use pine nuts, potatoes, or squash instead. Seasoning mix also varies regionally, with some areas of Spain preferring a paprika-heavy flavor profile and others leaning on cinnamon and cloves. Seville has a variety that's sweet, Sevilla. One of the most classic ways to eat a morcilla is also the simplest. Cut into thick coins, fried in olive oil, and served on top of bread. You can also use morcilla to flavor soup, stews, and other dishes. Its flavor is intense, unique, and delicious. If you've ever had any kind of blood sausage before, morcilla is a good place to start. Basque cheesecake. Wait, never mind. Um, pan con tomate. One of the things Spanish food is great at is making mind-blowingly delicious dishes from the simplest components. No dish highlights that better than pan con tomate, also known as tomate in Catalan. And its simplest, pan con tomate is just a side of robust bread rubbed with a clove of garlic and a cut tomato, then drizzle with olive oil. It's a great way to showcase the intense flavor of a ripe and seasoned tomato. If you want more tomato in your pan con tomate, you can also grate the tomato on a box grater and spread the pulp on a slice of bread, perhaps seasoning it with a cherry vinegar and garlic. Pan con tomate can serve as the base for a variety of tapas by topping it with other ingredients. One typical variation adds some brittyness and salt to the mix in the form of anchovy fillets. Ham. So every culture that eats pork makes some kind of ham. The ham produced in Spain may be the best in the world, which we've talked about before. The major types of Spanish ham, Iberico and Serrano, are made by using the same process, coating fresh pork in salt and hanging it to cure. Traditionally, ham is cured out in the open air, but in modern times, it's usually processed in specialized facilities that recreate ideal ham curing weather. Serranos are more common and less expensive of the two varieties. It's made using conventional pork breeds that aren't native to Spain. However, it's cured in the traditional manner and aged for at least 1 year, so it still tastes amazing. The gold standard of Spanish ham is Iberica, which we've talked about before, and it's Spain's native pig breed. It has a higher fat content than conventional pork. Iberico hams are also cured for at least 2 years, so the flavor is very complex. It's made with pigs that are fattened on acorns, which we've talked about before. Boquerones and vinegar. Boquerones is Spanish for anchovies. If the only anchovies you've ever had are the tiny, brown, salt-cured variety found on American pizza, you should try Spanish-style boquerones sometime. While they eat the smallest cured ones, salt-cured ones in Spain as well, fresh anchovies are also quite popular. You can even find dishes that combine both salted and fresh anchovy fillets for a double dose of fishy umami. Fresh anchovies are larger and meatier than what you might be used to and don't have the intense salt kick that the preserved ones do. Two of the most popular ways to eat fresh boquerones are fried in olive oil or pickled in vinegar. Boquerones in vinegar, as the latter preparation is called, actually cook in their acidic marinade, much in the same way as ceviche. The anchovies marinate in vinegar, and once they turn white, they get submerged in olive oil and garlic. After they're fully cured, they're great all by themselves, but they're even better on top of some nice bread. Polpo gallego is another Galician favorite, though now you can find it across Spain. The spruce eats it has octopus in it, which polpo means. Sorry for the little thing right there. Even if you're not familiar with cooking octopus, this dish is pretty hard to screw up. To make it, you simply boil a whole octopus until it's cooked through, unlike other seafood like squid and shrimp. Octopus tastes best when it's cooked for a long time. If it's not cooked long enough, you'll end up chewing on it forever. Depending on the size of the octopus, you'll probably have to boil it for at least an hour. Once the octopus is done, you slice it into bite-sized pieces and garnish it with boiled sliced potatoes, olive oil, salt, and paprika. Like so many simple Spanish dishes, this recipe relies on using the best possible ingredients. You need excellent olive oil and strong paprika to make pulpo gallego taste the way it should. Patatas bravas. With the possible exception of the tortilla española, patatas bravas are Spain's greatest achievement in the realm of potato cookery. They're basically the country's version of a loaded french fry. Instead of long, thin slices of potato as you would use for fries, you traditionally use squarish chunks to make bravas. But other than that, the procedure is the same. However, you will first fry the potatoes through on a and later fry their exterior. If you want to be extra Spanish, you could use olive oil to fry the potatoes. What then turns patatas into patatas bravas is the sauce, which is a thick, slightly spicy condiment flavored with hot paprika. We would also heartily recommend adding a drizzle of aioli. It doesn't only give you a nice red and white color scheme, but it provides a pleasantly creamy contrast to the heat of the bravas. Damas al ajillo, I think that's how you pronounce it. So let's go. It's hard to argue with garlicky shrimp. It's even harder to say no when the shrimp in question are drowning in a deep pool of olive oil. This you'll get whenever you cook gambas al ajillo from a tapas bar in Spain. A classic way to cook Spanish garlic shrimp is in a clay vessel called a cazuela. You heat up a ton of olive oil in the cazuela and toss in the very minimum garlic and shrimp. If you like to get a little fancier, you can have some combination of chili pepper, parsley, bay leaf, sherry vinegar, or brandy. The simple alchemy of garlic, oil, and shrimp is delicious all on its own. The tastiest part of this dish isn't even the shrimp themselves, although they are wonderful. The best bites come from after you finish the shrimp and you start soaking chunks of red in the garlic and seafood scented olive oil. That oil is truly divine. Gazpacho. Other than paella, gazpacho is probably the first food that comes to mind when you think about Spanish cuisine. While in the US, you might immediately think of gazpacho as cold tomato soup. Tomatoes are actually not original to the dish. Tomato gazpacho is certainly popular in Spain these days. The original dish consisted of bread, salt, garlic, vinegar, olive oil, and water combined into a cold slurry. In addition to red tomato gazpacho, there was also a green variety made with herbs and green vegetables like peppers and lettuce. Our favorite type of gazpacho, my favorite type of gazpacho, is a white kind known as ajo blanco. This takes the basic bread gazpacho formula from ancient times and adds ground almonds to the mix, producing a creamy, refreshing soup. A simple garnish of cold grapes turns this into an ideal appetizer or lunch or light lunch for a hot summer day. So that's it for the meals we had to wrap up. Let's move on to some of the desserts we missed. So we're going to start off on number 11 for the sweets. Let's get rolling. And we're just going to do this because of time restrictions. Manjar Blanc. Manjar Blanc is the Spanish version of blancmange, a European dessert made with milk or cream, thickened with rice flour, and flavored with almonds. Enjoyed since the Middle Ages, it's linked to the Terras de Ebre region in Catalonia, where it's traditionally served as a Lenten dessert. The animal milk was substituted with almond milk. Manjar Blanc is a simple but delicious dessert made with just a few ingredients: almond milk, rice flour, citrus peel, cinnamon, and sugar. That's all we can get through today. I might make another episode, I really don't know. But anyways, see you tomorrow.